Oh, what? We're live? Oh, no, we're not live, but that's the name of the show. I'm your host, Geraci, and we're here to talk about camera gear and hashtag camera hacks. Today we've got a really fun little new toy, and it's the new Zhiyun Crane 3 Lab. And I've been waiting 5 months to get my hands on this thing, and it finally came in last week, and I'm really excited to get it. It's this kind of funky new design for a gimbal that's not just like your standard post design. So it's not like the Ronin S or the Crane 2. It's got this really nifty handle as well as a grippy stick down here, or a cockpit handle really. And it's nice because it gives you 2 points of contact, which really makes it easy to maneuver around the scene, whether you're doing photography, videography, or hyperlapse photography. It's really nice. Now, one thing that I think is different than a lot of the other systems I use is that it has these really nifty lock-off systems. So you can turn it on, turn it off, and it makes balancing your system super easy to use. I had this thing ready to roll out of the box in about 2 minutes and 45 seconds, ready to go. So that being said, that itself is pretty amazing. So those are my favorite things about this. Let's talk about the things I don't like. So this thing does have a wireless 1080p video transferring monitoring system that goes straight to your iPhone or your Android device. But the application itself just doesn't work that well. After about 35 to 45 minutes of tinkering around, I finally got it to work, but it was just super cumbersome and clunky inside. Sometimes that the ISO would work, sometimes the shutter speed would work, sometimes none of them would work. But one of the things I was most disappointed on is the interval timer and hyperlapse mode. It just wouldn't work or connect to my camera specifically. Now maybe it works with other ones, but it would trigger the camera at odd times and it just wouldn't work, honestly. So when I was doing a hyperlapse test, and you can see that hyperlapse test right here, this is straight out of camera. I think it did a really nice job, but I'm going to have to wait until they come up with a better firmware or software update to really make the app more robust for hyperlapse photography. But when it comes to video and anything that's utilizing the mirrorless or DSLR cameras, this sucker can hold a 10-pound payload, so that really gives you a wide choice of lenses to choose from. I'll tell you what, I really like the 24 to 105 on it. Here's some sample clips of that we were using. My sister was kind enough to help me out in the forest. We were walking through, but I switch out between 24 and 105, and it just looks beautiful. It's really smooth and elegant, and something that you would see on a professional grade gimbal system like a Movi Pro or Ronin 2. But this gives you the capabilities of doing it with a mirrorless camera, which is fantastic. It's got about a 7.5 hour battery life if it's not being used, and probably about 5 to 5.5 if it is being used. And for under $1,000, I think that's phenomenal. Now, comparatively, if you're talking about like the Ronin S or Crane 2, with the Ronin S, it's a little bit heavier to hold, and with this, it's probably not as heavy, but it's really easy to hold and super comfortable. And the fact that it has the underslung mode here, I think is going to interest a lot of videographers and cinematographers out there, because you can really run really well and fast with this, and there's almost no motion to it whatsoever, and it's really nice. So overall, I think this is a really wonderful gimbal. It was really worth the 5 months of waiting. Now, I did get this unit. I purchased it myself. This isn't a sponsored ad. So it's just my own opinion of utilizing this. And I will say, I will take this over the Ronin S any day of the week. So if you're looking to buy a new gimbal, I highly recommend it, and it's really cool, really easy to use. And feel free to subscribe and like to this if you like the information that was given. This is the first show. We're going to have many more after this, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about how to actually set up and balance your system, as well as utilizing this for hyperlapse in some videos coming down the road. But anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'm your host, Drew Geraci again, and we're live. That's us. All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks.